Alright, watch how easy this is. We're going to prep our berries. I have a pint of strawberries, half a pint of fresh blackberries. I'm going to sprinkle some sugar over, that's 1/3 of a cup, and the juice of half an orange. Now what's going to happen here in the refrigerator is the juice of the orange is going to melt the sugar is going to pull some of the liquid out of the berry, and in 2 or 3 hours you're going to have a good amount of berry syrup at the bottom of this bowl. You could leave this overnight, you'll get even more juice come out of it, but a couple hours minimum is going to be fine. I mean, in a pinch you could use it just like this, but the longer it sits, the more juice you're going to get out of there. And that's that. To prep our mascarpone cheese mixture, we're going to zest a lemon, which is impossible to do without a zester. Okay, so get yourself one of these little zesters. It's got these little tiny circular blades at the end, and if you drag it across the surface, it just takes off the zest, which is just that first layer of a citrus where all the oils and flavors are. Make sure you mince that really fine. You don't want chunks of zest, it's just too strong to bite into. But minced fine, it gives an amazing lemon scent to this dish. There's a teaspoon. Alright, in a bowl you're going to add some softened mascarpone. Alright, that's just an Italian cream cheese. Same cheese used in tiramisu. Alright, so I left that out for about a half hour before I started, just to make it nice and easy to work with. Alright, that's an 8-ounce container. Alright, you're going to add your lemon zest and just a half a teaspoon of sugar. Because the berries are going to be pretty sweet that are going to go around this final mixture once we brulee it, we don't want the cheese mixture to be too sweet. So this is about a half a teaspoon of sugar, and that's all you're going to need. And I finished this off with a couple drops of vanilla. That's optional, but I'm showing you the 2 gourmet styles of vanilla. There's your Madagascar, and there's your Tahitian. So I was in more of a Tahitian mood, so I put a couple drips of that in, and that just gets all mixed together. Now I want you to note how soft this mixture is. It needs to be pretty soft so we can spread it onto our shortcakes without tearing them. Alright, so you don't want to refrigerate this. Give it a good mix, make sure all that zest is evenly distributed, and then we're ready to top our shortcakes. What I have here is basically just 2 store-bought shortcakes. I've actually done this with scones before, a plain scone, which worked out pretty nice. So any shortcake type item that has this kind of texture will work. I'd stay away from the real spongy angel food type bases you see for strawberry shortcake sometime. And I just split those shortcakes down the middle, which made 4 halves. And onto each one we are going to spread some of our mascarpone mixture. Now how much you put on here is really going to be up to you. I divided my mixture into 4, which gave me 2 ounces of cheese per. I mean, that sounds like a lot, but hey, if you eat a piece of cheesecake in a restaurant, you're eating way more cheese than that. So you decide. If you want to make this half the size, you can get 8 halves and just spread an ounce on each. The exact same recipe will work. But I went with 2 ounces per. Alright, just spread it. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, if it's a little irregular, it even looks nicer at the end. Alright, I put one on a plate, and I'm going to take a teaspoon of granulated sugar, and I'm going to sprinkle it right on top. Now here's the fun part. You're going to get yourself a little Creme Brulee Blowtorch. If you don't have one already, you go to Bed Bath & Beyond or on this website. This is $19, really easy to use, nothing to be afraid of. Alright, keep it away from the kids, of course. And what happens here, the granulated sugar, you fire it with this blowtorch and it melts right on the surface. And this is really what's going to confuse your foodie friends. They're going to think you baked these little individual cheesecake type things, and you didn't. This is literally 30 seconds with the torch. The sugar melts and then solidifies, and you get a nice crunchy crust on top. Alright, I put that in a shallow bowl. And to finish, we take our delicious berries with that nice natural syrup that came out and just surround it. And there you have what I think is just a really beautiful, delicious summer dessert. The shortcake's going to soak up that juice. And again, if you tap the spoon on the top, you actually can hear the crunch of the sugar. So this is a really nice, interesting dish. Don't tell anyone how you made it, and enjoy.